All right, Texans back on the practice field with some good news. Landry Locker, Cody Stoots with you. It is SNL Live on a Thursday, a.k.a. Nick Caley Day, a.k.a. talking to the dogs in the locker room day. One of those dogs, Kamari Lassiter, he returned to practice. Aziz Al-Shire, he returned to practice. Danico Autry and Sheldon Rankins, they returned to practice. Trent Brown, who's going to sit down with your boys or stand up tomorrow, he returned. The two guys that were not at practice today, Derek Stingley and Woody Marks. So good news, bad-ish news for the Texans as they head into a game against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Derek Stingley, obviously, if he has to play or they want to play him, can practice Friday and then play on Sunday against the Raiders. I would think that Woody Marks might have needed Thursday's practice. I'm not going to put it past practice Friday and play on Sunday. But again, I think I said this yesterday, and I still feel the same way. If the trainers say, yeah, this guy can push it and play, don't push it. Just let that guy be, especially with the return of Kamari Lassiter. Nick Chubb is back practicing this week, so you have him to pair with Jawhar Jordan. You have an opportunity to find out more about Jawhar Jordan. You don't need to push it because those two guys, Woody Marks and Derek Stingley, are integral to your success down the stretch, the final 2 games of the regular season, and whatever playoff run you're on. You have to have both of them to go where you want to go or have a chance to go where you want to go. So I'm fine if they don't suit up against the silver and black.
Now, here's the interesting thing, and I asked Nick Caley about this with Jawhar Jordan, and I kind of I roll my eyes at it because if what he's saying is 100% true, then they should seriously evaluate themselves and maybe even fire the entire offensive staff if this is true. But on the other side, I don't expect him to admit it. And quite frankly, I was surprised by what Jawhar Jordan did as well. I haven't been sitting here pleading for Jawhar Jordan, but I just asked him about if there was an element of surprise. He kind of insisted that they knew he could do this. If you knew he could do that and you cut him and then had to play him based on emergency, then that's incompetence. I get why he's fibbing here, but here is Nick Caley talking about Jawhar Jordan.
Make of Jawhar's performance, and is there, I don't want to call it an evaluation, but do you need to get more of a look at him to see if maybe you got a different element of things as the season goes on?
Yeah, I think what we saw from him was what we saw, in training camp, honestly. Jawhar's got a really, really good ability. I believe that, it takes everybody to run the football, but, backs that understand how to press blocks, really how to set defenders onto blocks and deliver blocks, they can add and enhance run game. And Jaws has a really, really good feel for that. And we've seen that in training camp. I mean, he really did. It's harder in the spring, but you could see the patience. You could see him press his track. So really saw him doing the same things that we've been seeing over the course of the last couple months, just come to life and just be consistent and just not try to do anything but be the best version of himself by going out and playing consistent. I thought he did a great job of that.
Not a little bit of a pleasant surprise, though? I mean,
oh, no.
100-yard rusher of the
season. Yeah. No, I mean, but pleasant surprise. We all had faith in him. We had confidence in him. And, I've said that before, and that's the truth. So I'm not surprised that we didn't believe he could do that. Excited for him to go out and really take the opportunity and make the most of it. And you're really happy. But yeah, I mean, we're excited as hell to have that performance for sure. But he's shown that consistently, and we preach that every day. Like how you practice is ultimately how you play. Practice execution will ultimately become what happens on game day if you're consistent with it. And he did a really, really nice job of that.
We're in here talking about practice.
Look,
he's been doing that in practice. Hell yeah. Where's he been?
There's no it's not. Again, like sometimes pleasant surprises happen, and I mean it is what it is. But Cardinals, Broncos, best defense, worst defense. If you this team has needed a guy that's capable of game breaking, and you get the longest run of the season, you get the first 100-yard rushing performance. It's great. It happens. Like I'm not sitting here saying that it's how could they have overlooked Jawhar Jordan? I'm not sitting here saying that, but y'all had no idea he could do that. That was a little bit of a surprise of what you saw on Sunday. Let's be real. Pleasant surprise, but you did not know that he could do that.
If they knew that, then he should have been up. And if they knew that and he wasn't up, then that's, as you said, and you called it malpractice. Look, my hunch is he probably did not get many opportunities in practice, and they were applying a lot of
about practice
they thought he could do to him as they, had their. That's the thing is though they spent most of the time of this season with Dameon Pierce giving them nothing at the running back spot. Like, that's the toughest part to understand is Pierce was giving you nothing, eventually gets released, and then Jawhar Jordan gets forced into action and he gives you that. It's like, man, I wonder if you could have found this out. Like, I wonder if you could have scratched this scratch off earlier and it would have helped you at this spot or that spot or something of that nature.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's not like a travesty. But I will say that the handling of the running back position, it's something that we've criticized for a while. Like, it's not like the corners, and we'll hear from Kamari Lassiter in a sec, or the DNs where we praise it, and then we have hindsight. Like, on one hand, I'm going to be fair to him and say sometimes pleasant surprises happen. Sometimes you luck into things. Best story in NFL history, you lucked into it. You lucked into Tom Brady in the 6th round. You lucked into it with the injury to Drew Bledsoe, and the rest is the highest form of history, perhaps in the history of team sports. So on one hand, like I do understand that sometimes luck does happen. On the other hand, it is an area where, especially myself, and I think you as well, we've watched and said, okay, this guy has more juice than Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb doesn't have as much juice. And then the one chance that he gets to replace Nick Chubb, he has 100 yards and he has a 50-yard run. So it's not just complete hindsight, but I am going to balance that with being fair to Nick Caley.
Well, I mean, there were stretches of training camp. I mean, there were days where he had, and I can think very much back to Vandermeer being critical of our criticism of Nick Chubb. And the very conversation they had that day was how good Jawhar Jordan looked that day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like there were days of training camp where he looked really good. And
he looked a lot faster this year, and he looked a lot more healthy.
Well, and he looked more confident too. Like, he looked like he knew what to do with the football. And all of that has to do with, hey, had a year of professional football, mostly in the practice squad, a year of professional football under his belt. And then they just kind of stuck him down there and kept giving Dameon Pierce opportunities, I guess, because he had one cool special teams play over his final 2 years with the team. And it's like, could you have maybe had that earlier is my big question. It's good they finally gave him the opportunity, and I hope that they continue to find out about Jawhar Jordan, because this is a potential opportunity to, I don't want to say solidify for the rest of the season, but it gives you a little bit more than what you had if he is something that you can rely on from time to time.
No, I mean, that was the biggest complaint trade deadline. Well, why didn't they trade for Breece Hall? And Jawhar Jordan's not Breece Hall, but the overall point was they could use help at running back. Like that was, I mean, I think that was the overwhelming majority. This isn't like a cherry pick opinion. Like, that was the overwhelming majority was they should trade it for a running back. Breece Hall is really, really good. He's better than Jawhar Jordan. We obviously understand that. But the foundation of it was they could use running back help, and I'll be damned, maybe they got some. We don't know. They're still. I mean, it's like you said, it could be some sort of fluke or whatever. But the one thing I think we can agree on is if they knew that was a possibility, what they saw, then they're dumb. I mean, it's really that simple.
Yeah, they don't have any benefit of the doubt at the running back position. They have it at some other spots, but they don't have any benefit of the doubt at the running back position. And it's, to have coached at a place like New England that kind of churned the back end of the running back room and always had a bunch of dudes, and to not have really had that until, maybe now, at least you finally found it.
Fact. Kamari Lassiter, he's good to go. He spoke today. Got to think that he's the foot injury is a thing of the past. Now, I think the only thing he did wrong on Sunday was do the backflip. I think I was the only person who was upset about that. But let's hear what Kamari had to say about the backflip. Among other things, he was having an interesting conversation about just hit the talk of his lack of athleticism heading into the draft. I thought this was a good back and forth with Kamari Lassiter. Let's hear what he had to say. And again, guys don't usually talk when they're not going to play. And guys that practice on Thursday, more times than not, they end up playing. So here he is, Kamari Lassiter, one of the top killers on this team. Here's what he had to say.
How you feeling physically?
I feel all right.
Backflip landing. How did that feel? How did you execute that?
Felt smooth. I mean, you know, in the game, whenever you have all that adrenaline and you make a play and everyone's excited around you, you don't really think about it. I thought about it later, but not during that moment.
No more?
That's my last backflip.
What makes Brock Bowers a special talent, a special weapon for them?
Man, Brock is different. You know, I've known Brock since we came into college. Brock is different. He does everything right. I feel like he cemented himself as one of the greats already. And like I saw it from whenever we first got to college, and nothing has changed. He just does everything right. He does everything 120%, and that's what makes him super amazing.
We saw these videos that he would post, and he's running and maintaining speed and all that. What did you notice about him physically when you first encountered him?
I mean, he's fast. He's faster than what he looks like. I would definitely say that Brock can roll, and he's super strong, and he really applies everything to his body. Like, you know, he works on his strength, he works on his speed, he does everything to make sure that he has all those intangibles. So, yeah.
For the football playoffs, what do we expect them to do?
Man, I expect them to win. That's all I care about. As long as they win, as long as their defense is playing good, we gunning for Heisman, I expect them to win.
You were
Meaningful December football, how fun that is. Do you feel like you're already kind of in that playoff mode? Every week you got to get
I definitely think so. I definitely think that every game just means more. Just because it's a game, you know, like on the fact that we get the opportunity to go out there and play football against the best in the world on the highest stage. So I feel like every game should be taken as a playoff game, but especially right now, you know, it's that time of year where things start ramping up. So I agree. I definitely think so.
that Wednesday help you?
That's what I feel great.
You were talking about it with Chance a little bit, just your overall athleticism. It was a talking point in the draft, and now 2 years in, it's kind of like, okay, how was that ever in question? What do you think? How did that happen, and what was messed up along that whole process?
I think I should have just ran at the combine probably. That probably would have just answered every question, but that's neither here nor there. We're 2 years away from that. I just feel like no one who really knows me or no one in this building doesn't think that I'm athletic. No one who watches tape doesn't think that I'm athletic. I know I'm athletic. So, I mean, if people think that I'm not athletic, I feel like that's like a booster for me. Like, okay, you can keep underestimating me, but you know, I don't think about what others think. I just go out there, play hard, play for the guys around me, play for my organization, my family, for God, and let everything else take care of us.
There you go. Absolute freak. By the way, Brock Bowers faster than he looks. I agree. I do agree, though. He's going bald, and he's a big white dude. So, yeah, I would definitely agree with that. But Kamari Lassiter, he's the backflip is officially retired. It's donezo. Beast Mode asks, what was wrong with the backflip? Just maybe I'm just can't relate to the backflip, but hurt foot backflip doesn't seem ideal in a world where guys get hurt with less risky celebrations. And I think he agrees. So right there, validation, baby, from Kamari Lassiter.
No more backflips. That's fine. Keep being physical and being a monster on the football field. That's fine too. What do you expect out of the Georgia Dogs?
Aaron asked about the playoff.
Hey, bro. Alpha Aaron here.
And also, Kamari threw in there. He just threw in there at the end. I don't know if you heard it. Gunner for Heisman. It's like that trophy's handed out already. Like that's they did that already. He's not winning any trophies.
Swarm.
The Man Beast 25. Whatever happened to Cody interviewing Pop? Yeah, you were. Here's what happened. I'll just tell. Do you want me to say what happened?
Well,
Popovich, offensive line coach.
I mean, do you want the truth or you want Landry's version of the truth?
Go ahead. You lay it out. What happened there? What happened with that?
I had initially mentioned to PR that I'd like to speak to Cole Popovich. and it was after the 49ers game. And then ultimately it never really came to be. I never followed back up on it. And then I said, maybe next week. Well, it just so happened that the next week was after the Denver Broncos game. And so there was maybe some people that were intimating that I was trying to catch them, trying to play gotcha and get them after one of the tougher defenses as opposed to one of the easier defenses.
Okay. And then what?
I haven't talked to him.
Why not?
Well, I mean, the quarterback got a concussion, so that kind of became the big story.
So I feel like they're playing a little better. You don't want to talk to him when they're playing better?
I'll talk to him now. I mean, it's a little late in the week. Next week's a short week, so I mean, I probably can't get to him next week. But if you want me to talk to him ahead of the Colts game, I'd be happy to.
No, but I just thought that I thought you wanted to talk to him, and then all of a sudden you didn't. I'm just trying to solve the mystery, man.
Well, I mean, I pretty much laid out what happened. So,
all right, there you go. They started playing good is the correct answer from the Stootser.
Oh, you think I didn't want to talk to him because the initial request came the week after the 49ers when they held a toothless 49ers defense to one of their best performances of the season.
No. The initial request came after the worst performance of the season, and then they did that, and then the request went away. Yeah.
Are you talking about the Seahawks?
Yeah. That's when the initial request was. The initial request was after the bad one, and then they had the good one.
To be fair, I never officially requested him. I just said, what's the process for requesting him?
On the chat, Mr. G King 95 asks or says, we need a new OC next season. I don't care how far we go.
So if they win the Super Bowl, throw him off the parade route and get him out of here.
Biased H-Town disagrees. He says the O has the opportunity to flip the switch versus Las Vegas. I don't know about that. You flip the switch in the playoffs. I think nothing that happens this week is going to make you feel overly awesome about the offense.
He said flop the switch.
Flop the switch. Okay. All right. Flip, flop, whatever.
There's still a lot of
there's a lot of flop controversy, but there's also a lot of people who said you laid the hell out of that. Like that was a hell of a job by me when it comes to the math and everything that came with it. That was impressive.
Okay.
Appreciate all the support from the people.
There's people that follow cult leaders too. It doesn't mean they're right.
On that note, the Man Beast 25, what is going on? Landry, he says Landry is on that
high grade marijuana called Kush on the streets.
He said, so we're going back. I appreciate these, like where we go back on previous chats. So shout out to the Man Beast. He says you always take a home playoff game. This team with a suspect running game possibly has to play in the snow, and this team with procedural problems in a loud environment. I think he's probably talking about me saying that starting out on the road. I think there's multiple layers to this, but I was basically saying that Jacksonville right now has to start off, if the playoffs began today against Buffalo and the Texans would start out in New England, and I would rather start out in New England than against Buffalo, regardless of what the Texans have or haven't done. Now, I do also acknowledge that avoiding having to go to Buffalo is my number one priority. That's the number one priority. So the home game can be connected to that. But yes, I would much rather in the first round go to New England than face the Buffalo Bills.
Right. Now, I mean, what if it's hosting Buffalo in the first round? Would you like that, or would you rather go on the road in New England?
See, there's a lot of ways to look at this. Like you can look at that a number of ways. And that's the beauty of the discussion is going to kind of shape up. You can look at it as you're going to have to beat Buffalo no matter what. So you would rather do it early on, even if you're risking losing in the first round, which you potentially could to Buffalo. We know D'Amico's owned Josh Allen, but you potentially could. So you want to get it over with, or you want to do it at your place instead of in Buffalo in January. I can understand that. Or you could look at it as, okay, I can get to an AFC championship game by beating Drake May in New England and Bo Nix in Denver, who I've already faced, and then maybe something fluky happens with Buffalo. But if I get to the AFC Championship game, it's all fair game at that point, and you've done something that you haven't done. So for me, I put it this way. The number one priority for me is avoiding having to go to Buffalo. But if we're just talking about first round matchups, I think if you're just talking about winning the first week, I think that going to New England, I would feel better about that than Buffalo coming to you this time of the year.
Yeah, another crack at the Texans from Buffalo. Like, I just don't love it at home or away. I do have a lot of value on that home game, so I kind of lean towards just play Buffalo at home and hope things keep going your way versus go on the road. But certainly, I believe Buffalo is a more dangerous team than New England is. So there's also I think Sean McDermott's a pee pants in the playoffs. So I kind of do want another crack at him from that standpoint. I just feel like he'd make the wrong decision in a high pressure situation.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I just look, but they are battle tested, and Vrabel. I agree with you. Vrabel being a better coach, I just think you can wreck it. You can wreck and their offensive line.
Yeah, their offensive line is atrocious.
Yeah, for sure. There's no doubt about that. On the chat, Derek says, Landry, crazy idea. Cody has caffeine with Cody. How about you go with lounging with Landry? High-grade marijuana called Kush in the streets. Just a thought. What do you think the locker room is at 10:30?
High-grade marijuana called Kush on the streets.
I've been doing this for 3 years. What do you think? What do you think the locker room at 10:30 is? That's every night, brother.
Yeah, that's what
Landry. That's my whole channel. 10:30. It's a 10:30 vibe. I ain't at 6 o'clock. What do you think that is? Have you seen some of the streams? There might be a little bit more than the Marahoochie going on.
Yeah. There's been lounging with Landry. There's been
slurring.
Yeah. Boozing with Landry, BAC with Landry.
Yeah, that's what it is. But it's always consistent, man. Yes, it's always consistent. But yeah, that's every night, brother. that ain't nothing new. Something else from Nick Caley that I thought was interesting was him talking about this jumbo set. He was asked about this jumbo set, which I'm finding that a lot of the people that I respect most when it comes to their opinions hate the jumbo set. Like, they initially were open to it, and now they're just like, all right, that's enough. But here was what Nick Caley had to say about the jumbo set, aka 57 is reporting as eligible, or is he?
Or is he?
I mean, it doesn't matter if we have, double jumbo, 11, normal 11. We got to go out and execute, and we got to get our feet in the ground. We got to get a hat on a hat, and we got to do things the right way. So what it can provide, which it has for us, is an opportunity to really strengthen ourselves in the C area. Just you're talking about size, strength, just body, matching body sizes and sizes on the edge with edge players. And so, Blake's done a good job in that role. I think he can continue to move the needle. I know he can continue to move the needle and get better and more consistent, and he wants to do that. But it gives us an opportunity to solidify the C and D gap area. Not just in the run game. You can do things in protection. Might have some little passes up our sleeves at some point, but you got to get on the jugs. But Landry's like, nah, not until I see him. No, but he's done a really good job. It's been a big part of what we've done this year. It gives us some variance in our personnel groupings, and we like to mix the personnels for sure.
Damn, Nick Caley, why are you telling my facial expressions, brother? Just trying to mind my own business, bro.
You probably looked horrified when he said it.
I was like,
not just in the run game. You can do things in protection. Might have some little passes up our sleeves at some point, but you got to get on the jugs. But Landry's like, nah.
Hey, I don't know. I might rather have that than Daria Wildcat. All right, let's ask the question in the chat. Would you rather have the Daria Wildcat or Blake Fisher catching a pass? Ooh.
Well, to me, it's clearly Blake Fisher catching a pass because you're only doing that once. You might actually run the Daria Cat more than once. So do the Blake Fisher catching a pass because They're only doing that once. And I like at this point, I kind of want to see it. It's like
I don't. Blake says he can catch. I don't know that that's going to look great. I don't know that I necessarily buy into that.
you should walk by him tomorrow and like fake trip and like kind of put something up in the air in front of him, see if he can grab it out of the air, see if he handles it on like I just feel like this is honestly, if there's any week to try it and show it so that other teams have to prepare for it, it's probably Sunday afternoon when you're kicking the tails or you're kicking the Raiders' tails. And
you want to put it on tape?
Yeah, because if you do it, then people have to prepare for it.
Yeah.
That does not feel like a play. Like I've been very critical of some of the goofy creativity in key moments. I do not want them to throw in Blake Fisher a pass in a key situation.
But isn't that when those things usually happen?
I do not want this team throwing Blake Fisher a pass in a key situation.
What would that mean? Rich Boy Jay says, I wonder why Landry doesn't think Blake Fisher could catch a pass. I don't know, because he can't block. I don't know. Like what I don't know. I don't think he could catch a pass. I don't know why.
What is Rich Boy Jay insinuating?
I don't even know. It's a weird insinuation. I don't know what it would be. I have no idea. What would it even be? Don't know.
Because he's a Notre Dame guy? Because he's a freaking offensive tackle?
Don't know. It's definitely not because he's a brother. There's a lot of brothers that can catch. I don't know. Twin Peaks guy? I don't know. It's just.
But if it was a 27-degree beer, he could. Oh, God. I got it, Rich Boy. Yeah.
Oh, fat phobia. If Blake Fisher's not fat. Y'all got to quit with this fat phobia. I don't have a fat phobia. That's a weird claim. Although I did hear that someone stole 3 cookies on the way out today. On the way out after eating 2 for lunch, I did hear from the feds.
I did not eat 2 cookies at lunch.
I did hear 2 burgers. I did hear from the feds.
Hey, bro, Alpha Aaron here.
That Cody took 3 cookies on the road on the way out.
I didn't take 3 cookies.
3 cookies, 2 waters.
I took 1 cookie.
How many waters?
I didn't take any waters. That's you. That's you, the water thief. You're the water thief. We caught you red-handed one time.
I am the water thief. There is no doubt about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
I did take an extra cookie.
Just one?
Just one. I did think about taking a road burger too, but I didn't.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. Tomorrow, by the way, speaking of food, BB's Tex Orleans. Yummy, yummy, yummy for my tummy. I'm already thirsty. It is going to be a fun day tomorrow. We went north. It was fantastic last time. I think it's going to be even better this time. Shout out to everyone that came through. We will be there. The Voodoo Happy Hour is popping. It is great. It is fantastic. And we have the live broadcast as well. So we look forward to seeing you out there tomorrow. And then Saturday we'll be at Spanky's just hanging out watching football. No event, just watching football, A&M at 11 o'clock. But tomorrow's the best, the broadcast. We got you covered. You getting oysters tomorrow, or are you going to mix it up a little bit?
I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I got the oysters last time and the boudin nachos last time. And so I'm going to go a little, I might get like a frozen drink tomorrow. Something like that.
Okay.
Kind of get kicked off with that, and then a couple more beverages, and just kind of see where the afternoon takes me.
All righty. See you there. And see you Saturday as well. BB's tomorrow. Gonna be fun. I wasn't plate watching. The feds told me.
Well, the feds are wrong.
The stars on the edge in this game. Is this game going to be decided on the edge? We know that Max Crosby can wreck a game. They've talked about this a lot. We know what Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter can do. and they have mutual respect for each other. I asked Will Anderson what it's like when you have an elite edge guy on the other side. Is there a little bit of competitive juices that flow? Here's what Will Anderson said, and I think his counterpart, Danielle Hunter, might be the one that's foaming out the mouth in this one. We'll explain that in a sec. First, let's hear from Will.
I know you aren't on the field at the same time, but when you see another guy that has a lot of respect, that plays on the edge as well, you kind of try to elevate your game a little bit just naturally.
I think it's always just competition, like when you just look at it, but we always just see like what he finna do. Like me and Danielle, we be talking about it. He's like, we wonder what he finna do today. We just watch things, but no, it's always friendly competition. Anytime you got to watch another edge, it's really good too.
All right. Yeah, I agree. Now, I also think that Danielle Hunter probably has a little bit more because let's be honest, he got hoed last year when it comes to the initial Pro Bowl voting. I know eventually he got in because Max Crosby was hurt, but Max Crosby got voted in, and we can sit here and talk about process and all that type of stuff, but you look at the stats, Danielle Hunter had way better stats than Max Crosby last season. You combine the stats from the last 2 years, and I know it could be not comparing apples to apples because of perhaps the attention that Max Crosby gets. I don't have those numbers in front of me, but you just look at the overall stats that typically get you into the Pro Bowl outside of TFLs. Danielle Hunter kind of got screwed last year. So I got to think he's going to be cranking it up a notch as well. But I do enjoy watching these guys, all three of them play. I do wonder if Max is going to play. I haven't seen their practice report yet, but it's pretty crazy how much respect everyone seems to have for Max Crosby and vice versa.
He gets look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's not excellent. Max Crosby is excellent. He gets talked about like in that upper top absolute best tier.
TJ Watt type.
And I think he's just a little bit below those guys. He's very good, though. He's very good. I hope he's on a different team next year because he's just wasting away with the Las Vegas Raiders, and maybe he doesn't want to leave. He's very good. And if you're thinking about ways that, all of a sudden it's close on Sunday afternoon, Max Crosby having a dominant day against this Texans defense would be one of the ways where the Raiders could actually, or this Texans offense, could be one of the ways that the Raiders are actually keeping this thing close and making it tough.
It's the only way.
Texans.
That's the other thing about this is I think it's the only way because he's going to have to wreck the game. And even then it might not be enough because of what the Raiders have on the other side of the rock. And if you're talking about the Texans, you might not have Derek Stingley, which means you might have Tremont Smith. Now, we'll just pretend that the Raiders have serviceable NFL wide receivers. It's big pretend. We're using our imagination big time. What's up, Santa? But I do not think that it's far-fetched to think that Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter both feast at the same time, and they make Derek Stingley being out not really even matter. And I don't know that it matters whether they do or not, but I think on the edge, I think this game is going to get decided on the edge. And I do think Danielle Hunter, he'll never admit it. He's very calm. Dude, when you don't make the Pro Bowl with the season he had last year and a guy that's hurt gets voted in ahead of you that doesn't have the stats that he had, you're very well aware of that guy, and you're very well aware of that guy when he's on the opposing sidelines. I don't give a shit what anybody says or what any like politically correct football stuff is said. You care about that, and you should. Like, you very well should. And we've also seen Danielle Hunter on a tear lately. Will Anderson's coming off the worst game of the season. So I think the edge is where this is going to get decided. And if you're a Texans fan, that's a good place to decide games.
Well, and D'Amico Ryans mentioned it this week, and Anderson hinted at it a little bit. There are some things that they want to change from a approach standpoint so that guys aren't trying to take the defensive ends out of the game, or it's a little bit more difficult for guys to execute their plan to slow down or take the defensive ends out of the game plan with chipping and things like that. So I'll be interested to see if D'Amico Ryans has a new wrinkle or a new twist to help the Danielle Hunters and the Will Andersons rushes get home.
There's a lot of evaluation on this thing, like I don't want to sit here and act like this is like a preseason game or like training camp or something, but they probably need to see something from Jawhar Jordan, or at least want to see what that was. And then you talk about the D tackles. You kind of need to see that too. So there is somewhat of like an evaluation with this team and what they need to be looking at while they need to continue to win the game against a team that they're way better than.
Well, there's a couple of more from this too. Max Crosby is the last excellent pass rusher off the edge that you're going to face until you get to the playoffs. So you've got a little test there for Ariante Ursery. It'd be fun to see what he can bring to the table against Crosby when they match up. And it's again the last real big edge. And then one, like, you know how I love to. This is one of my things.
I know what you're about to do.
What I don't do you? I don't think you did.
Yes, go ahead.
The starting right tackle for the Raiders.
Oh no, I did not.
Was drafted after Blake Fisher.
Correct.
And Caserio started the tackle run in 2024 in that late second round, early third round. Mm-hmm. And so DJ Glaze was drafted after Blake Fisher. I don't know that many people thought he was anywhere close to as good as Fisher, and it was actually a little bit of a surprise he went that high. But there have been a few tackles that have ended up being more consistent football players than Blake Fisher that got drafted after Fisher, and this is another one where you can kind of say, oh, well, they've got the right tackle. Well, Glaze actually starts, and maybe he starts out of necessity because of injuries and such, but Fisher's a jumbo tight end now.
Well, I actually thought you were going to do something, but it's kind of the same mindset. So this kind of tells how we may spend a little too much time together. I thought you were going to mention Tyree Wilson and Will Anderson.
Oh yeah.
I thought you were going to mention the Tyree Wilson, Will Anderson discussion.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Tyree Wilson, Will Anderson. There was a time where it's like, do the Texans like him more? And I will say this, whoever said that was never the case. I don't even remember who said it. Like, I don't remember. I really don't. I legit don't. Okay. Well, who said it?
I want to say that Lance was the first guy to say it.
Yeah. That was never the case. That's 100% apparent. When it comes to Will.
That's been one of, the Raiders have had
obviously proven with the way they traded, but it's also been proven with the way they've spoken in the whole process and all that. So that was never a thing.
Right. It was the Texans for a while got connected to like the freak athlete guy because it was like they would think about Trevon Walker if they had the number 1 pick in 2022. That was a report. And then they got connected to Wilson in 2023.
That's the Jags, though. That's the Jags.
Yeah, that's ultimately how the Jags drafted. It's awful.
Sir Wag says, greetings, gents. Any D lineman brought up from the practice squad? We wouldn't know. We'll know Saturday.
I would think they're going to bring up at least one, maybe two. At least one, maybe two. I think I have this right, and I have to double check with Texans Cap because it's something he knows off the top of his head. You got 3 games left. You obviously get 3 practice squad promotions over the course of the season. I believe in the playoffs you can promote a guy from the practice squad as much as you want. So if you figured out one of the guys was the right guy, you could just keep promoting him for the rest of the regular season and then keep promoting him in the playoffs too. And you wouldn't have to use a 53-man.
What would you anticipate that would look like, though?
Well, it would either be Marlon Davidson, who's played a little bit more football than the other guys. He's actually played in NFL games, whereas Marcus Harris has very little NFL work, and obviously Junior Tafuna has been on the practice squad all year long.
Junior Tafuna's got an extra kick in his, and he's got an extra kick right now.
My thought is it's going to be Davidson. One, a little bit of experience, and he kind of leans a little bit more towards Mario Edwards' profile for how they used Edwards.
He's a massive human. I think he might be the second biggest human on the team, right?
Who's that?
Davidson.
Are you confusing him with Haggai and Debussy?
Nice card.
Yeah. Haggai got brought up for the Chiefs game. So
Yeah.
you can only bring him up 2 more times, but then obviously you can bring him up as much as you want in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's on me.
But yeah, into BC and Debussy, I believe is how you say it. Haggai is definitely.
I don't know about him.
He's enormous. He's huge.
Yeah, I don't know about him though.
I mean, I don't remember him making much of a noise against Kansas City. So,
Wag says, any chances of us stopping Bowers this week? We don't need nothing big game like McBride had against us. Do they have a plan for Genty?
Yeah, I think the plan for Genty is the Raiders are blocking for him. That's the plan for Genty. I would think they're not going to let Bowers get going like they did McBride.
No, because there's zero respect for what they have on the outside, like zero.
Correct. Like Michael Wilson came into the game last week, the Cardinals outside guy. He came into the game as one of the hottest receivers in football from a production standpoint over the previous month. So you had to account a little bit for him. There's not a lot of things you need to account for on the Raiders. It's really getting the ball to Bowers and in the passing game, dumping it out to Genty.
It's pathetic.
It's awful.
It's pathetic.
Tom Brady should be embarrassed at how this team's performing.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. I mean, Tyler Lockett's their second leading wide receiver on their active roster, and he wasn't good enough to play for the Titans. You mentioned that Max Crosby love. All the coaches were giving Max Crosby some love, including Nick Caley. Listen to this.
He goes full tilt 100% of the time. He doesn't stop. He's slippery. He's dynamic with his hands. He can bend. He can use a multitude of different moves and pass rush moves and counters. You got to account for him everywhere he is. He's never going to take his foot off the gas. I would say he's very unpredictable. His play style, he's one of the premier pass rushers in the world, and I have a high level of respect for him. I've seen him wreck games and make lives a living hell for a lot of offenses, so we got to be at our best, and we got to be ready to go.
Yep.
I mean,
just go ahead and say you think he's overrated. Go ahead.
I'm not going to say that.
Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say you think he's overrated.
I mean, they talk about this guy like he's freaking Myles Garrett.
It's a good player.
I never said he's not a good player. They talk about him like he's an all-timer. He's fine.
So just say he's overrated. Go ahead. Get over with. Give me the take.
I don't think he's overrated, but I think they're overrating him when they talk about him.
Okay.
And I feel like he's properly rated. Like nobody talks about Myles Garrett, and then they also say, well, yeah, Max Crosby's right there with him. Like nobody says that.
Okay. You asked the question that I was going to ask today, and it's probably a result of our dialogue that we've had here on SNL. The lack of production at receiver on Sunday, despite a really efficient, good game from CJ Stroud, is that symbolic of taking what the defense gives you? You asked Nick Caley about that. Here's what he had to say.
I think that's part of it. I mean, I think CJ sees the field so well, and I believe that we have a lot of guys at all positions that can really contribute within the timing and rhythm of our passing game. CJ does a really good job. He has a feel for coverage. He understands coverage, and he has a great feel for space to be able to deliver the ball to those guys. And, and those guys have shown up big for us in a variety of different pass types. But, yeah, I mean, it's some weeks, you see some guys have an uptick here and there, but, based on the passing game and the progressions and where the reads are based on coverage and stuff, CJ does a fantastic job of really getting through those, and those guys really stepped up for us. Not just last week. They've done a great job all year. They really have.
So in short, yes, that's a hallmark of CJ doing exactly what they want. And maybe that was just that opponent, that scheme, that day. They've done a good job getting some schemed open wide receiver stuff, and certainly CJ and Nico knowing and seeing things in the week leading up to it, being able to connect on that first big one. But hey, if they're going to put up 40 points every time the tight ends have 11 catches, so be it.
No, I think it's lovely. It did feel like there was, I don't know. I don't want to be too dramatic and say there was more of an effort to get Jawhar Jordan involved in the pass game than Woody Marks, but there might have been.
He felt like he ran routes where he was an option as opposed to, oh shit, there's Woody, and the quarterback gets rid of it to him.
Yeah, and maybe that goes to the evaluation. Like maybe the evaluation happened early and they want to see if he can add that type of element. I do wonder, like, if Jawhar Jordan goes out there and he does his thing, then how do they look at this running back room moving forward? It's got to be Chubb and Jawhar, and then our Woody Marks and Jawhar, and then
I was like, what? I was like, what?
And then Nick Chubb, maybe accordingly. Maybe we see Nick Chubb inactive playoff games. Maybe we see him inactive.
No. Oh, I would keep him active for every game.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know what they do, but
as many times as Woody Marks slips off the field, I'm definitely carrying 4 backs in the game day.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. It's just they typically keep a few, and this is hypothetically if Jawhar Jordan continues what he did last week.
Ideally, Jawhar Jordan showcases a semblance of last week's performance, and you feel good about a 1-2 punch of Woody and Jawhar, Nick Chubb as necessary, and Dare as necessary.
You said Dare is what?
As necessary. They're going to play him. I don't want him to play, but they're going to play him, obviously.
Special teams. What if they run Dare Cat in the playoffs?
They better fucking score.
The Watt Cat. The Dare Cat is the new Watt Cat.
Oh my God, the Watt Cat. What an awful play.
Dude, you were pumped. Don't have it. You were so excited when they did that. I guarantee. Oh, JJ's coming in. Hell yeah.
No, it was stupid.
Throw him a fade. Yes. All right. Let's go.
Well, throwing him the football is different than having Vince Wilfork line up at fullback and try to block for him.
Would have gotten the crowd so hype had they gotten that. But yeah, so that's what we got. Good news at practice. Woody Marks and Derek Stingley remain out. Nick Caley, don't know how y'all feel about him. Kamari Lassiter, good to go. Cody thinks Max Crosby is overrated.
That's
and
what I said.
Yeah, the Cookie Monster does not like Max Crosby.
The Cookie Monster? What the fuck?
Does not like Max Crosby. So that's where we're at.
I'm going to start stealing salads from places.
By the way, if all the Texans star players got together and they opened a retail store, what would it be called?
If all the Texans star players got together and opened a retail store.
All the Texans and Raiders. If all the Texans and Raiders star players got together and they opened a retail shop, what would it be called?
I don't know.
CJ Maxx.
You should have left on the Cookie Monster. CJ Maxx. Injury report officially no Woody Marks, no Derek Stingley.
Yeah, pull it up. That's it.
That's it for you.
Okay. What do you think about this? I've had probably 5 people ask me about Chris Long calling the defense the taxman or whatever. And I'm like, dude, that is fucking horrible. Because they make you pay. That's awful.
Yeah, officially DMP for Stingley and Woody Marks. Yeah, taxman, I don't like that.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Chris Long also went on a dipshit rant the other day about professional wrestling.
How stupid it was?
Well, I guess he said something about he mentioned a story. He mentioned a story that his kid, I don't know how old his kid's much younger. And his kid walked in and was like, "Hey, Dad, could you beat up John Cena?" And Chris Long was like, "Well, I had to let him know, 10 years in the NFL and had to kind of walk that line where it was like, wrestling's not real, buddy." And so my kid was devastated. And then I was like, "I'm just kidding. John Cena could beat me up." And I guess the WWE saw this, invited him to the John Cena final match. And then Chris Long was like, "You know how good it felt to see John Cena quit in the ring?" He's like, "I can tell my kid, Dad never would have quit. That fake Nazi guy never would have beat Dad up." And I was like, "We're taking this a little too serious here, Chris."
No, that's good. That's good. That's good banter. That's good father-son banter. I respect it. I like it. Someone told me to go watch the Casario Chris Long interview. They're like, "Oh, this is a good interview." And I went and I think it was Patty on my chat. Name was Patty. Maybe. I don't know. I went and watched it and I was like, this sucks. Like it was basically just the same as like a Sean Seth Texans radio thing. It wasn't anything like crazy. He was also talking about how great Nick Caley's done.
Yeah, well, congrats on watching Sunday.
Yeah, I didn't love it, but
yeah, I'm thumbs down on the Taxman. That's stupid.
Someone says I got that joke off of Laffy Taffy. Someone says I got it off a popsicle stick. Someone says it's a dad joke. I think you all could be correct, but it was just in the dangerous mind.
If on a Laffy Taffy rapper, they talk about the Raiders and Texans star players, CJ Maxx. That's a pretty pointed.
If this were a big game like an AFC Championship or something like that, and they were making like promotional T-shirts, then CJ Maxx would be a perfect title for the shirt.
Oh, for sure.
And then you just put them both there, and it's like the showdown stuff. Long way away from that, though. Long way away from that. But the question of the day, a couple of them been answered. A couple of them remain. We know that Kamari Lassiter is going to be good to go. We know that a lot of these guys, the guys that we suspected were going to get veteran rest days, they got veteran rest days. We don't know if Woody Marks is going to play. We don't know if Derek Stingley is going to play. And we also don't know when Cody is going to man up with Pop and actually talk to him. So those are the questions that we don't know. But hopefully we figure out most of these. We'll definitely figure out the Woody Stingley tomorrow at practice at 10:30. But the Stoots Pop, who knows? We'll figure it out.
How about you just fix your witness protection situation over there?
Anyways.
What are you diming out the mafia? What's going on? Blur his face out so 60 Minutes can interview him.
All right, you ready? You want me to be? I saw him walk out, and as he walked out, he walked to the right.
It was you. You were the Fed.
And he grabbed 3 cookies. And then
it was just one.
And then walked to his car. Oh no. I'm gonna get popped. Mama Stoots is gonna whack me. So tomorrow.
She just asked why I didn't take more.
Tomorrow, we'll be at BB's, Tex Orleans. We'll see you there. We'll hear from D'Amico Ryans. Not sure who's really remaining that we need to talk to in the locker room. It's probably going to be a get out to the north type of day where we're not overly concerned about that. And we will hang out with you. And then we'll hang out with you Saturday at 11 over there at Spanky's as well. By the way, we also got an interview lined up. Don't know when we're going to put this out. We might put this out this week, and we might save it for Christmas. Because I think as long as we don't talk about the Raiders game and break it down too much, I think this could actually be like a good, fun interview, depending on how it goes, depending on if he gets ticked off at me. I don't think he will. I gotta tell him that I bet against him. I gotta tell him that I bet against him. And then I'm gonna say, if you want some, let's go.
Okay.
We got Trent Brown tomorrow, so we're gonna talk to Trent Brown about everything going on with him. And that should be fun. He seems like a pretty fun dude. So we'll talk to Trent Brown tomorrow. Try to have some fun, and talk about him. One of the most pleasant surprises of the season. By the way, former Raider, former Raider Trent Brown, highest paid offensive lineman of all time at the time.
Yeah,
broke bread. So there we go. Appreciate everyone for rolling through. Subscribe, like, ride along. Always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, whether you're duck and pop or not, we're all in it together.
I was wondering which one you were going to do, whether you're stealing 4 cookies or not. Yeah. Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you at BB's tomorrow.
How the hell did you know that's what I was going to say?